worked.
Welcome.
Hi.
We're live at Ritual Space.
Welcome back. We're back in the co-working space. We're vibing. I'm bringing some sage. Nope. Palo Santo.
Palo Santo. We're cleansing the space.
Yes. Cleansing the cat. I don't know if you're like me, but I've been drinking coffee since like 10:30 this morning.
Okay.
And it's 7 o'clock. Don't do that.
Okay. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't drink coffee after like 10 o'clock or I'm done for. I'm up all night. It's not good.
It's a delusion. I don't even think caffeine impacts me anymore.
Oh.
Because I drink it like it's water. But you know what's crazy? Drinking water. I'm gonna try it today.
We got our water and we're here to hang out with you tonight. And we're in a different setup, so we got to make sure we talk loud or lean in.
Yes.
We're gonna get updated mics soon is the goal.
Yes, hopefully by next week.
Yeah, but I am so excited about tonight.
I have no idea what's happening. I'm here for the ride.
Yeah, and I'm excited about that. Okay. So literally today, I was just saying, like, what do you want to talk about tonight? And Jill mentioned manifestation. And I've been on the verge of, I feel like, downloading something really important for a little while now. And so I was meditating on that idea. And I got something that felt to me pretty life-changing. It may not be to you, but it may. That's how much I appreciate this perspective that we got. So I want to share with you what I downloaded, and we can talk about our manifestation, magical tips that have worked for us, and which is really just understanding how reality works a little bit more and gaining perspective. And we can have a convo about that. And I hope you will comment and share if you are as affected as I was by this information, because I feel like in a past life, I was kind of wandering around with all this wisdom, but I never really shared it. And one of my goals in this life is to share these very out there concepts in a way that lands and makes sense to people, instead of just mumbling to myself and keeping all that knowledge to myself in my past life. And so
what were you in a past life?
I think I was just a wanderer.
Okay.
Maybe even Romani style.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A traveler. Yeah.
The keeper of knowledge.
Yeah. But kind of keeping to myself and just being the crazy lady that wanders on the fringes, which is a vibe, and that's a choice. And
I think I'm doing it right now.
Okay. Well, now I'm a Leo and I can't shut up. So that's my lot in life at this point in time. So we'll see if what I say makes sense. I'm hoping it does.
Okay. I'm curious. I have no idea what she kept it. She's keeping it until now to tell me her.
I'm so excited.
Her download and revelations show you'll be getting my reaction in real time.
Also, it has changed my life. It's just only been 5 hours. So but I've seen a significant change just in 5 hours. I'm going to be honest. So that's exciting. First, cool. Do you want to talk about some of the stuff happening at Ritual Space so we make sure we keep everyone up to date with all that?
Dudes, my guys, my friends, I feel like September is popping off. We have a very full September calendar, and I'm so grateful for it. There's a lot of new spaces coming to Ritual Space, one of them being the Bloom School. It's a 4-week gardening club that's starting at the end of September. It goes from the last Thursday of September through October. It's led by Heather Gonzalez. She is not Heather Green, different Heather. But Heather Gonzalez is a master gardener, and she is starting her garden and landscape design business. But she is bringing her knowledge and love for food and landscaping and plants. And we'll be gathering here as a little gardening community. So if you're interested in knowing how to grow food and plants in Florida, especially with our tropical seasons, that's a really cool space. I'm really excited for that. That's the Bloom School. We have a beautiful sonic bloom a sound healing event happening on the 27th with Alyssa Neems, Higher Self and Sound Healing. She's been in the space previously. Her sound baths are truly immaculate. The way that she holds space is with such intention. So I'm really excited for her to be back in this space. And you may know this, you may not know this, but Ritual Space is only in the wellness space. We still use the studio from time to time, but that is officially Bar Roots. So we're bringing more spaces and group spaces into the co-working space. So starting our like living room sessions. So bringing different experiences like sound baths or yoga and things like that into our space. So I'm really excited to nurture that cozy vibe here. But check out, I'll update the website this week at some point. But you can go on Instagram and see our event calendar for September. It's pretty full. So I'm excited for it. Trying to harness the energy to show up in all these spaces with excellence, but I'm excited.
Well, there's so many really powerful people that use this space and move through this space, and
True.
each of them have their own way of displaying that. So it's so exciting when we see all these different people with different passions come together in one place and be a part of this community.
It's a beautiful thing, and I just feel it continuing to grow and bloom and attracting so many cool, amazing people with really beautiful things to share. So I just love to see how the community grows and how we just all are inspired by each other. This week we do have the Inner Method. They're back doing Kundalini activation workshop, which is going to be interesting. They come every month, so if you can't catch us this month, try again another time. But they're here every month doing it. They're a traveling group. They go all over the place, so it's kind of an honor to be like their Fort Myers host when they're in town. And then there's a Cyanotype photography workshop happening on Saturday as well by Pricity Visuals, and so cool. Such a beautiful method to make prints and create photographs. So that's going to be really a beautiful intentional space, and that'll be on Saturday. But that's what's going on this week.
So exciting. That's so many
exciting.
things.
There's too much for me to remember right now. I know I'm looking at the calendar right now, but that's a lot. So I just recommend you stay in touch with us on Instagram and connect with us there about everything going on. It's just great. I don't know why I ever doubt it, but it just always fills. The schedule always fills. And I love it. I love that I don't have to plan all these events either. People just come to me with their ideas. I'm like, let's make it happen. Let's go.
There's so much flow in that.
Yeah. No, I'm grateful for it. So we are blooming here this September. Manifesting. Maybe even more will come after this conversation. Probably. I don't know. Every time we come together, I feel like things happen.
Something pops off.
It does.
Great segue. Okay, can I just start talking about this? Because I'm so excited.
Well. Okay. Because I'm here for the ride today.
All right, here's what I got. Now, you love your manifestation teachers. I love our manifestation teachers. Abraham Hicks, Neville Goddard, all of them, all the ones that we love, right?
Yes.
I listen to as many as possible. Matthias DeStefano, he's great. He's out. He's just, he's so good. He's mechanical. He's out there. He really is helpful too. Now, this is a way of kind of approaching what we've already heard in a way that is just a slightly different perspective of things. And it was really helpful for me to categorize and view the nature of reality this way, because that's really understanding manifestation. We are manifesting at all times, 100% of the time. We're manifesting because we're creating the reality. We're moving through this reality. We're creating things that happen. It's just, are we being conscious about it or are we being unconscious about it? So essentially, this whole movement of understanding the law of attraction and everything that Abraham Hicks is talking about, that has really caught on in popularity in the last 5 years, I'd say, especially in 2020, it really amped up this energy of people trying to be conscious creators of their life. I think it's a really beautiful thing. And as you progress down the path, I think you get more insight on as to what is actually going on here that we have been unaware of. So essentially, in all these manifestation teachings, a lot of them say you can't consciously manifest something like abundance from a place of lack, right? Have you kind of seen that being a way that people have been promoting the technique?
Mhm.
Okay, so what I want to say is that actually, every single thing that has been manifested has originated from a place of what you could call lack or contrast, if you will, which is, again, what the manifestation teachers talk about, but there's a little bit of a difference there that I think will neutralize some of the sting of the idea of lack. Okay, so here's how I'm inviting you to categorize it. At one point, we all were a point. We all were, you can call that whatever you want. Potential energy brimming, with life, but concentrated into a single spot. The singularity, I know people call it that. It's the idea of all of our energy being compacted into one specific unified, the idea is unified area, or maybe time and space didn't exist yet, but whatever existed, it was just one thing. Then that one thing somehow, at some point, said, I want to know what I am. And that idea comes from a place of lack. I don't know what I am. What am I? And so, almost like cell division, when you look under a microscope and you watch mitosis or something, you can see like cells dividing into two. It's divided into two parts to look back at itself and tell and give feedback. This is what I see. But the separation almost could be categorized as like a wound in a way, a place of lack. Because when we separate ourselves down into parts, a wound happens. And each time we separate, a desire happens to repair that wound. Okay. So at some point, we broke into two, and then we broke into, three or maybe two more, however the process divided, until what we know as existence is in its basic components this very orderly unfolding of almost like a fractal universe, right? A way of existing so that from every infinite point spilling out of the one, we can now observe ourselves and who we are. Ultimately, always trying to answer that question, who am I? Okay, is this tracking so far? Is any of this making sense? I know it doesn't necessarily maybe connect to manifestation yet, but am I at least?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. I have to check it because I don't know if I get too far out there.
No, I got you.
Okay, good. All right. So every time we separate, like I said, a pain is almost created. Now, that pain could also be categorized as there's now a challenge that's created that we can go on an adventure or a quest to understand more of who we are. And when we do that, when we understand more of who we are, we contract back into ourselves. We call our energy back into ourselves. And that feels like a homecoming. It feels like a becoming home, if you will.
If you will.
Okay. Because she's becoming home hypnosis.
That's me.
So you get that concept.
I do.
And it's very much like contraction, like the coming home back into the singularity, and the expansion being spread out throughout all of existence. And then that process repeating itself, trying to understand just a little bit more and more what exactly is going on and who exactly we are, as if it's a breath in and of itself. Okay. So if that's the case, then when people say you can't manifest from a place of lack. I think it's important to understand that lack is actually what initiates the process of manifestation. Because if we hadn't broken into so many parts, none of this would be here. We would not be in existence right now as we are. Because technically, this looks like two humans and two chairs. But underlying all of that, we are really just one singularity, playing out our individual expressions united as one within one reality. So, what that means is when they say you need to embody the wish fulfilled, you need to embody you need to feel the feeling of what you want so much that it has no choice but to pop into your experience, right? But really, what it is just when every manifestation, every desire you have has come from a wound. And when you are okay with that and you accept that that is the case, then you can now say, what did I learn about who I am through the process of restoring myself? Maybe I'm mid-process in that, but what am I learning about myself mid-process? And can I call my energy within so that I realize that I actually, by definition, am the thing I'm wanting to be already? Because when they say it has to be your state, right? It has to be more than just a thought or just a feeling. If you desire to manifest abundance, you have to realize that the only reason you want abundance is because you split yourself in two, but originally you were just abundance, right? And you're trying to understand about what does your abundance mean? What is it like? How do you achieve it? What lengths will you go to get abundance? We're essentially collecting data. We're collecting data for our unified self to understand more about what we are capable of. And so going back to that place of drawing your energy in and saying, if I didn't want that desire, then I would be whole and complete. There would be no need to manifest anything, right? The desire is telling me that I already am abundant. And I'm just learning how from a different perspective, from a different quest, a different challenge that I just accepted and went on to get to that place. Thoughts?
Yeah, that's really interesting perspective. It's like a remembering.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because I can't help but like explore this from, maybe it's because off camera we're talking about past lives just briefly, but that, I don't want to like go off with too much of a tangent.
No, I think this is exactly on track. I was going to go here.
It's like you are this, if there's this understanding that we are this one eternal soul, or we are souls looking at each other. It's like a mirror.
Right.
So not only are we on a cellular level multiplying and then coming back together, but also like everyone else out there is a mirror to us in our experience, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, right? So we can acknowledge people and perceive them in abundance. And we see that mirrored back to us, and we have then a desire because you're seeing it, so you want it for yourself, right? You're seeing a shared desire, a certain experience that you can have, and if you are experiencing yourself in lack, you also can see lack, you can recognize lack around you. But isn't this all a journey of remembering and coming back home to our understanding of connection and oneness and self, and how we are capable of achieving it or experiencing it? I mean, abundance is available to us at all times. It's a frequency. We can connect to that. We can connect to it when you feel joy, laughter, love. That's in the same vibration of abundance. It's this high frequency.
Yeah.
And then also, you've mentioned this before, I remember this very vividly because it was in a conversation about lack. You need to know lack to also know abundance. You have to understand the contrast. Sometimes that's how we learn, right? We know what we don't have, and we see what we don't have, so then we want to have what we don't have,
A
or
seed,
perceive that we don't have.
Right. A seed is buried and then covered in shit. And it's like bloom into a beautiful flower that is mind-blowing and amazing.
So I find that really interesting. So, I mean, you're talking from a cellular level, but then that is a fractal, and that is a pattern that we can really acknowledge in our connection to not only ourselves, but others. And isn't our connection with others a mirror of our own connection with ourselves?
Well, what's really beautiful about this is then now you realize that when you are interacting with anybody, what you're doing, I have like chills as I'm saying it. You are a part of that healing process, because we wouldn't exist if there wasn't a need or a desire that arose from contrast. We literally wouldn't be in existence in these forms right now as is.
Ooh, I have your chills. You just sent them.
Yeah. So what that means is everybody we're participating with is on a healing journey. And when it absolutely, I mean, I think there's going to be some times where it's like, you need to heal that and it has nothing to do with me. I think that there's parts of that, go find other forms that we have created as unity and they'll help you out, and then come talk to me. But I don't want to help you with that, which is fair and valid. But I also think that sometimes there's going to be people who absolutely you would adore supporting them in their healing. And it would be so fun for you. And it also means everything we want is because we want to heal something. I am literally talking to you right now. We have literally created a podcast because of a problem. Maybe even if it was in a past life where I was wandering in the wilderness and I was like, well, nobody's listening to me and I have all these great ideas. And now in this lifetime, I have this podcast where I'm talking to people and being listened to in a lot of other ways. I mean, also teaching. Can't escape that role of being a teacher no matter what profession I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't want to escape it, because that is healing. So when you're watching this, you're participating in my healing journey.
Mm-hmm. So interesting.
Because it really is like being forthcoming about like, I want this because I want to heal from something. Like, let's get down to it.
Yeah, I mean, for real, I just have a lot of thoughts in my head from what you just shared. Well, how did you receive this download? What were you doing?
I was sitting on the couch and the dogs were wrestling. No, it was literally something that like I've been getting a lot of messages of like, you're so close. And so it was literally today I was reflecting on it and I was like, oh, manifestation magic, we got this. And this is what I'll talk about. So I was just meditating and breathing on my couch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is so, I mean, that feels really biological.
Yeah, like mechanical.
Yeah.
The way things work. It's magic is that way. Magic is like, I don't understand how things work. And then you find out how they work and you're like, wow, that really is magic. But there's also an explanation.
So then there's benefit in being conscious of your lack.
Yes.
What you perceive that you don't have in this moment, but knowing that because you are consciously recognizing what you don't have but desire, you can then manifest it. And you also have to connect with that state.
Well, and it's not a thing where you divide into more parts. It's a thing where you come home to who you are.
Yeah, you have to like almost bring. So it's like you have to. Okay, I recognize lack. I'm connected to lack, but there is abundance. I have access to that, but it's about calling it. Like I'm manifesting that part of me back.
Right. So I think what it is
remembering
like
it back.
There's still a little bit in that idea of like connected, as if I'm a thing and abundance is a thing outside of me, or lack is a thing outside of me. But really what it is, and what I think this conversation does, is it neutralizes the idea of lack and sends us on a quest to, I want to know more about abundance. So I'm going to forget who I am. I'm going to forget something that I once knew, or I'm going to be confused. I'm going to let myself try to understand more. We don't have to try to understand ourselves better, but there's something cathartic about that, about knowing who you are, right? And answering that question. So what that means is I separate myself to go on a quest to get more information so I can bring it home to what I truly am, which is abundance. And I can say, now I know abundance from this perspective and this perspective and the Jill perspective and the Heather perspective. And I know what that lack feels like. I know what it feels like to be covered in the dirt and the shit. And then I know the process of blooming that flower up into something else. And look, I'm here to show you.
And I think that's an important thing to explore. And I think that can really help open people's mindset about abundance, for example, since that's what we're talking about, because it is a perception. And your definition or how you perceive abundance could be very different from mine, but that doesn't mean it's less of abundance, because that's the meaning that you assign to it.
Yeah. I mean, really, abundance.
And so finding all of that perspective and seeing it in all of those different ways could also help you identify it more easily. So
abundance is really also this kind of catch-all for anything you could possibly want.
Yeah.
It's just being full of yourself. Guess what? You're full of money. Guess what? You're full of color. Guess what? You're full of life. You're alive. You're alive. And this is what it looks like. Yeah.
I'm so abundant with breath right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting download. That's very mechanical. That is very fractals. And yeah.
It's something to process, because I think for me, what it did was it was like, oh, these problems are here so I can prove myself to myself. They're not here to be bigger than me. They're not here to stump me. They're not here to overwhelm me. They're here for me to show my power.
Yeah. To see yourself fully in
Yeah.
all the parts.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. It's a really interesting way to illustrate that.
And it can change the way you quantify. I know. Don't you just like take a breath a little bit, because it kind of needs to like sit in, you know, and get like integrated with your system, because it kind of is a big deal. I mean, I'm telling you, like a few hours ago, and I'm like, wow, my life feels completely different since I had this download in every way.
I mean, how are you processing that in your own life? I didn't get hours to process this. I'm processing.
Yeah, I know. You're like in real time. You're
so
real
I'm
time.
like, help me process it.
No.
How is that showing up for you then, and how you perceive your quest?
Yeah.
Of abundance?
So I think, you know, like one way I look at it is like, okay, there are instances where we've got this mountain to climb and something we want is on the other side. And there are people who are like, oh man, this is like, I got to get out of this where I'm at. I got to get to the other side of that mountain. How am I going to do it? Oh, I'm so tired. I'm going to climb all this mountain. I'm going to do the best I can, but I'm just like, ah. And then there's some people who recreationally climb mountains. They hike.
They love it.
They have the equipment. They have the camping tent. They tent in the trees. They put their little hammock tent up in the trees. Like, it's so adorable. They pack their like goodies. They like hike the Appalachian Trail, and they like scale giant mountains and like cliffs. Right. So some people make a game and a sport of that and get to the other side, and they're like, where's the next mountain? Because they have learned that the whole point is showing yourself how powerful you are. So since I kind of downloaded it, it's really just like, you know, my day to day where things do get hard. I feel like, you know, I wake up very early. I have a very rigorous routine that I follow throughout the day, very Saturn routine for my Pisces soul is not always fun for me. I want to float around in my dreamland, and I am structured all day long, what I do with my time to the minute. So then I get home and I feel the need for rest, but I also have my family that I need to be present for. I also need to take care of myself. I also need to make time for like what feels like an infinite amount of things every single night that I find myself overwhelmed by that to-do list. So this is on a very like day-to-day level, not necessarily huge mountains, but I will say after having that download, my baby, who is 1 years old, woke up and I could hear him waking up. And when I saw him, I had all the energy of a fully energized me after a long night of sleep and all the rest I could need and recuperation. That was how much energy I had when I approached spending time with my son. And I spent time with him for like 30 minutes and then I came here. Right? So I played with him and we laughed and he was falling on the floor and I was tickling him and we were just having like the best time climbing all around and just in truly in the moment, very much enjoying each other. And I was not worried about my rest and my energy, and it's been such a long day and I have somewhere to go. So I guess what it did is it helped me be very, very present. And also, like, a weight was lifted off.
Mm.
So I feel like I had so much more energy because I realized I was just making it harder for myself than I needed to.
And where in your quest were you making it more hard?
I was
What's the contrast?
I was making it hard for myself in the idea that I'm not like capable of full energetic potential to get through a day and do all the things I want. Energy. I think energy budgeting takes up a huge amount of my brain.
Yeah.
I think that's common. I think I see that a lot, come up a lot in my sessions with people,
Oh, I think we all deal with it.
friends. Yeah.
Yeah, especially in sessions. I mean, even talking about manifestation with people a lot when it comes to like hypnosis, right? It's about understanding the power of your thoughts and your desires and visualizing. All of this is, I think, a part of manifesting for you to connect with what you want emotionally.
Yep.
And how what that offers you allows you to recognize it when it shows up or signs of it when it starts to show up.
Yes.
Right? For myself, even in this space, like I'm sitting in it right now, but this has been a long time coming, the creation of this, the manifestation of this. And I'm sitting in it. I sit in it every day, but it took me, I get windows of this where I'm sitting here and then I'm just fully experiencing the feeling of the peace and the joy and the satisfaction of being here. And that's when I'm conscious of my manifestation, because I'm connected with the state of the thought that I had when I had the idea of having a space like this. And then to arrive in the space in that state was like, oh, delicious. Right, I made it. And it is about taking your energy back to you.
Yeah.
And I think about all of my clients, especially the ones I have today, right? All the time we spend thinking and emotionally investing in old parts of us or memories of us or these experiences where we experience lack, for example.
Right.
And that's where our energy goes. We think about, we invest energetically in the present moment, in moments of the past.
Right. Exactly.
And so when you can bring your energy back to you, home to yourself, and be in your state as an abundant, joyful being of love, which is really what we are.
Pure love.
And that's when you are the most magnetic to aligning with the things that you want to manifest, especially if what you're manifesting is in the vibration of love and joy and abundance, which is usually what people want to manifest. Where people run into the challenge of manifesting, or where we feel lack or stuck or like I can't have the things that I want, I don't have the energetic capacity, is when we are mentally and emotionally investing in the points of our life where we feel without. But you are truly never without. You always have access to what you want.
Because it's who you are.
Because it's who you are.
Ooh.
But that's why, like, it's so important to be conscious of this, because your thoughts dictate a lot of where your energy goes.
Yes.
That depicts where your energy goes. So if I'm thinking of a breakup, if I'm thinking of that time that I had like no money in my bank account, and then I remember that feeling of being in that lack, I can get stuck there. But then I create that reality of lack. Again. I'm reliving it.
Because you still have to prove something to yourself, which is you are
Apparently.
powerful
Yes.
and you are abundant.
Yeah. And when I can bring my focus, because you were talking about a focus point, when I can bring my focus back to the reality
are.
that I have, who I am,
The
I got
reality.
myself out of that situation. I made different choices to align myself with a reality that I actually want to participate in. Then I bring that energy back to the moment of what I actually want to manifest. And I can then recognize the abundance and the love and the joy that I have right now.
Mhm.
And then that brings gratitude. And then that
Yeah.
is what grounds you
Key.
in the reality. When you can enjoy the reality and even the state in which you, like, even little things, right? Even in the, wow, I brought my energy back to me. And I
Mhm.
brought my focus to this moment with my child
Yeah.
and his joy. And I'm
Yeah.
sharing that joy and the gratitude, because that's the conscious choice, I think.
Mhm.
Gratitude's a
Mhm.
conscious choice. And it's like telling yourself and the universe, like, thank you.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I needed and what I
Mhm.
wanted. And you can celebrate, even to yourself in your mind for a moment, the joy that you have and that you've manifested
Yeah.
this moment. It solidifies it as real.
Yeah. And also celebrate all the components that made that moment possible.
Yeah.
Including the
Along
lack.
the way.
Including the contrast.
Yeah.
I think that's key because I think that sometimes
Woo!
I know.
We're saying something today.
We talking. We are talking.
Just two witches channeling hard truth right now.
So fun. Yeah, it's good stuff. And I want to call attention to, like, when you were giving like the announcements of what was happening, you're like, we're blooming, we're blooming, we're blooming. Like you were already using that metaphor of blooming because
Yeah.
there was a lot of shit that you had to sort through.
There were some moments where I could not see the bud.
Yeah, of
I was like,
course.
did I even plant it here? Like, what did I do? Did I plant it
Right.
over there? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Where's the seed? Where is it?
Right? And that's, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a part of the journey because it is to prove to yourself. And I also think we have to experience these moments where, like, my manifestation lives within me because I am the conscious creator of my life. So it already exists. If I can see it, if I can feel it, it exists already.
It has to. There's no
It
other
already does.
possibility. Because if the lack was where you were supposed to be, it would feel good, but it doesn't.
No.
And that like the thing that doesn't feel good is just measuring the distance from who you are to what you're choosing to experience in that moment.
And yeah, all that muck that you have to sort through, all the, I'm grateful to be sitting here being able to talk about it like this now, because there have been times where I have just not been able to see how it's possible.
Mhm.
And I believed that it reflected something about me.
Mhm.
But when you have to come back to the intention, you have to come back to the desire and the vision for what you want, if it's truly something you want to manifest, especially if it's in alignment with the sense of joy and fulfillment that you have for your life, and being open to see how that unfolds as well.
Yeah.
Because I think I've learned that too. Like, I have an idea of what I want to manifest and I can feel the feeling. I can visualize it as if I'm like participating in my manifestation, right? Mm-hmm. That's a huge part of this. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes when we truly arrive to our manifestation, which is really about awareness, conscious mm-hmm. awareness, mm-hmm. it can sometimes be more than you ever thought it would be.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the joy of the journey as well. Mm-hmm. But it does, I think there, even in moments of lack, like coming back from it, right? Making that conscious choice to be like, okay, I recognize and I accept that I feel this way right now. Uh-huh. And what is, I think it's Esther Hicks calls it downstream thoughts.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, so good.
How can I accept, okay, I'm here mm-hmm. right now, mm-hmm. even though I'm feeling stress and doubt, I still believe in the possibility of me manifesting this. Well, I still can have.
Let me soothe that a little bit more, because I had a thought about that specific part of the process, because that was another thing that after I had this download, I was thinking of the things that I'm mid-journey in. It's like, But when you think of yourself, when I think of myself now, I think of myself as mid-journey of an inevitable destination, because we have an eternity to come at these wounds and resolve them or heal them or
Many lifetimes.
fulfill them.
If
Yeah.
you will.
Right. And being conscious about it means we can move through that more quickly in the lifetimes that we're in. Ideally, that would be great, right? So the inevitability of the wounds being healed and yourself being restored to who you are kind of gives you a sense of peace and kind of soothes a little bit of the urgency, because it's like, oh, okay, I just now have a process where I am going through an understanding of more of who I am.
Yeah.
I'm just proving to myself who I am, and I'm mid-process in that. And how fun, because if that wasn't the case, none of this would exist.
It almost feels overwhelming
Mm-hmm.
to understand that you are the universe looking back at itself in wonder.
Yeah.
And so for you to ever think about yourself as unworthy of lack, you're just focusing on one part of the whole.
Yeah.
And if all you do is focus on that, that's what you will create or not create.
Yeah.
But that is also an essential part of everything that is, because of contrast. So if you, I mean, how do we really know genuine joy and love and vibrancy and abundance if we haven't had these experiences of lack and grief and heartache and disappointment?
Right.
You wouldn't know how to cherish your manifestations if you didn't have to experience the whole spectrum.
Right. It's
so
almost
many
like
of us protect ourselves from experiencing it all, but I think that's also the key to manifesting. It's almost like you have to go through your core wound in order to unlock your prosperity. Like you have to like have a relationship with it in order to open the door.
And you have to, like, when that happens, when I hear what you're saying, I have this like explosion of self-love in my heart, because before, when I'm being so hard on myself, like, why are you not at your goals? Now I'm like, oh my gosh, this goal I have came from this wound that was created, and I have so much love for myself as a person who has chosen to go through the process of restoring myself back to who I really am.
And that inevitably means that you have what it takes
Yes.
to experience it.
And it takes off some of the edge.
Yeah.
Because the person who hikes the mountain still feels the aches and the pains.
Oh, you're tired.
Yeah, you get tired. But they take care of themselves along the way.
They're prepared.
That's
the
the difference. You're not punishing yourself along the way.
Yeah.
You're like highly nurturing yourself along the way.
Does a mountaineer not prepare them? Like everything you said, like they have the tools that they need to enjoy the climb.
Yeah.
And you also have the tools you need to enjoy the climb, enjoy the journey,
Yeah.
you know, and we all reflect it back to each other, even when we forget. And that's why we are here together.
Mm-hmm.
Because whether Heather knows it or not, she mirrors back to me my excellence when I forget. Right?
Mm-hmm. Well, just listen, like me listening to you talk, you would not be saying the words you're saying. You would not have the insight that you're having unless you went through some shit first. And so for me, seeing you say these words, resonating with you, and also being a compassionate like force in this space toward you, I then get the absolute, like, it's going to make me tear up a little bit. The absolute privilege and joy of being able to be a part of that process. And like, that's such a gift to me.
And just to know like this whole space is filled
That's what
with
it's for.
Fucking incredible, magical manifestors, women just devoted to their joy, which
This
is
whole
so
beautiful
simple,
process.
but it is incredibly profound, especially when you think of all of the conditioning, all of the messaging, all of the contrasts that all of us have experienced, and to yet still choose the journey to joy, and then to arrive in a space where we can mirror that back to each other. Like, we all made it to base camp.
Right.
That
right,
means
right.
we got pretty fucking far, right? And that means we go farther together, because
Mhm.
we are magnifying that vibration for each other. We mirror it back, even the challenging pieces. But that's the beauty of community, like genuine community, I think, as well, because we are those particles, we are those mirrors to each other.
And the truth of the matter is we are all unified. And that truth is the absolute most beautiful thing. And honestly, when I was thinking of it, like, I don't really understand the end game. I don't know if there is an end game. I know that there's the analogy of like, once we clear our wounds and we restore all of those and there is no more lack, which seems like, will that ever happen? That's like, seems like an infinite journey in and of itself. But let's say there is. I know there's the idea of the drop in the ocean and achieving nirvana, and people think of it as like a holding tank. But then, does it all just, is that just the inhale and then it exhales again, and the particles release and everything starts over again? I don't really know.
I mean,
the end of, if there is an end.
if energy cannot be destroyed
We will always be in existence
or created, it's just infinite. It's
Yeah.
forever.
We think, therefore we are.
Forever blooming. And
I think, therefore I am.
I mean, if you subscribe to the belief of past lives,
Yeah.
which I'm fascinated by, in consciousness can reincarnate into different experiences.
Mhm.
I mean, how long does it take me to reincarnate into all of these different I mean, this is coming back to what you just said. I mean, do I achieve this great level of consciousness when I have seen it from every angle?
Mhm.
Existence from every angle.
Mhm.
And when does that stop? Ever?
Yeah.
Never. I would have to reincarnate a billion times.
Yeah.
And then that still might not.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I just can't help but think of it that way too.
Like, it's almost like this might not be your first time even being Jill. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how it all works entirely.
I know nothing. The more I know, the more I hear
Yeah.
downloaded, I'm like, wow, I really know nothing.
There's
But
questions.
I have so many questions. But this is really bringing a whole new, I mean, past lives have to be. It's obvious to me.
Past lives, parallel lives. It's an infinite game.
It's infinite. It's literally a hall of mirrors. You know, when you I have a mirror I have so many mirrors in my bathroom, but when you open like the medicine cabinet
Yeah.
and you are reflecting into the other
That
mirror, and
part.
it's forever. I mean,
that part.
It's just, we are, wow.
Yeah, it's a wow. It's a wow thing. I think that's appropriate for this.
It's just wow.
It is.
So if you ever think that you can't do anything, think again.
You're just mid-process.
You just haven't seen the other perspective yet.
And I think one exciting part of this, in the idea of like, it's our joy to help others to heal.
Mm.
Think of those people who just like irritate you or / hurt you when you think about them / there's so much pain that they show you, that they mirror back to you. And think of it from the place of, if it was my joy to participate in their healing journey, how would I show up? Isn't that an interesting question?
Different experience to have.
Yeah.
That feels a lot better than lack.
Right.
Or abandonment.
Yeah. There might be things that we would say to each other. There might be people where I say, hey, I actually want to have this conversation with you because I think it would be really healing for me. Like, you can start taking accountability for your own healing.
Yeah.
And you can come straight up and be like, look, there's healing to be done here. I don't know if it's for you, but for me. And can we just have a conversation about this thing? And I truly believe that sometimes the healing thing to do is to remove your power so that it's not in the way of them understanding their own power too. There's no like one right way to do it. It's just a matter of like, is it my joy to have this conversation, or is it my joy to never talk to you again?
Right.
What, and being really honest with yourself in that self-assessment of, what do I need to heal here? How could I participate in their healing? How could I look at them mid-process, even though they hurt me? Even though I feel pain because of what they did, how can I see them with the same compassion that we're uncovering for ourselves as we're mid-process?
Yeah.
That's a game changer
That
in
is a
how
game
we
changer.
relate to each other. Because technically, as we're calling our energy in, sometimes we're also causing more separation. We're causing more wounds. We're causing more pain. And we do that unconsciously often. Like I don't think we all intend to be hurtful to each other. I
just can't help but wonder how impactful this download is as we enter eclipse season.
thought that too. I was like, okay, so if I know eclipse seasons, especially this one coming up, it usually like kind of take me out and wreck me. How can I be like, guess what? Me and this eclipse season are besties. And
I mean, if according to this conversation, we are eclipse season.
we're bigger than eclipse season. We're more than
it's
eclipse
just
season.
mirroring back a part of myself.
Yeah.
Clearing the space for what I want
The
to manifest.
sun's hiding the sun has to hide every once in a while. So do I. So does everything.
Oh yeah.
The sun needs to hide.
She needs to show us contrast so we know we can be grateful for her when she's here.
That's right.
It's masculine energy. Whatever.
I think it was, but it's shifting. But yes.
Oh.
I think it's shifting to feminine.
As it should.
It's time for that. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. When does eclipse season officially start?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Me either. Soon.
Sometimes I just kind of want to like be oblivious to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to know.
I feel like it's full moon. I'll get back to you.
I'm in the oblivious phase right now.
Same, clearly. It's going to happen whether I know about it or not.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I'm going to be like, what's happening?
And I
with
have
the
what it
stars?
takes.
Totally. You've gotten through every eclipse season you've ever been through. And was baby Jill ever concerned about an eclipse season? Just happy to be here.
No.
Happy to participate.
She's like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I keep thinking I see someone outside of the corner of my eye.
Oh, cute. Who's here?
I don't know.
We did sage a lot.
We did. It doesn't work. Apparently it manifests.
Someone's still here. Was it over at the door? Because that's where I always see somebody like around toward where the door is. Like this door right here.
Yeah, that's exactly where I just saw it.
That's where I used to see the guys.
I hope you guys don't mind ghosts.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's cool.
All are welcome if they match the vibe of who we are.
Yeah, they're probably pretty cool if they're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ritual space. Our ghosts are cool.
Sorry, I just got distracted by a ghost. It's funny. I don't like see them very often, but they play in the corner in the periphery, and that's what I felt. Have you ever seen anyone with a hat?
Here?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think so. The last time it felt like that. Like a baseball cap?
I just feel like I saw a brim, so it could have been like a cowboy hat.
Oh.
Or like a I don't know. It was like
okay.
Maybe.
No, I don't think I've seen a cowboy hat or anything like that.
I don't know if it was cowboy. I just feel like I saw a brim.
Somebody's liking what we're saying.
If I tapped in, I could probably.
Well,
but I don't really want to.
Yeah, I mean, it's infinite. And so
how does this relate to ghosts?
Infinite possibilities.
Because are ghosts just like, it's like a mirror of a time that existed, a moment in time. So could it be like a parallel? Like, is an apparition potentially a parallel
Okay,
experience or universe?
so here's how I would explain that. You've seen a cell dividing. There's 1, now there's 2, now there's 4, now there's 8, right? So that's a fractal pattern. And then a cell like that could become an entire human being who now has patterns of behavior. Like behavioral science is where we write down all the patterns that we notice in human behavior. And then we kind of match our behavior to like the stars. The stars are absolutely some kind of code where, that's why natal chart astrology is so helpful and an important way to like organize the way that you live. And so these fractals then, our human behavior is repeating itself beyond our physical time and space on planet Earth up into the sky. So it's going beyond time and space dimensionally as well. And all the dimensions are existing at the same time, but we might not, like, we're perceiving third dimension right now. Some could say fourth dimension, right? Learning more about the fourth dimension. And like thinking of dimensions, like we don't even have to complicate that too much. There's the first dimension is the unity, the singular point. The second dimension is when there's 2 points looking at each other, they form a line. So that's 2D. 3D is when a third one pops in and is like, hey, this is a cube, not a square. Right? And so then 4D is us looking at ourselves from another angle and bringing what's unconscious to the conscious infinitely. So that would be like the one cell splitting into 2, looking at itself, splitting again, looking at itself from a different dimension, splitting again from another dimension. And and things like ghosts, like we have beginnings and ends of things, like our lives are kind of these cycles, right? Our lives seem to have birth and death cycles. So that's also repeating itself. Whatever that cycle is repeating itself in a parallel dimension that exists at the same time and space as we exist. It kind of gets a little muddied, but
I just find it really interesting.
Yeah. I think there is a more scientific approach to the idea of the afterlife and ghosts and dimensions and, the spirit world. I know that there's more science that's starting to talk about consciousness as more of a blanket, more of a field, instead of an individual. Like your brain doesn't generate consciousness, it receives consciousness from the field.
Right.
There's also more science that, you can communicate with loved ones who have crossed over. I think there was just a really big podcast episode. Oh gosh, I don't remember her name or his name, but it was basically her husband died and she said she wanted to learn how to speak with him. And so she taught herself how to do that as a neuroscience and a psychologist.
Oh, wow.
So she went through that process and found the science of speaking to people who have passed on.
So fast.
Yeah.
Our brains are so, this kind of ties back to our last conversation of, when you're turned on, tuned in intuitively, your whole brain can really be activated.
Yeah.
And so you're becoming aware of more layers of information on more planes of energy and consciousness, I guess. So
yeah,
you could could absolutely tune into that.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we're having conversations and you're channeling, and I'm also trying to intuitively and open myself up to understanding the vastness of what you're describing. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised if I also can like tune into other things that are in this field.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about it.
So
like, you're so powerful. Like, what? Like, why do we ever doubt how fucking powerful we are? And how, like, you know what's for you and you know what's not for you. And sometimes we play a small game where we think that we're not deserving of the things that we want and who we are. Of really accepting and receiving exactly who we are.
Yeah.
And that's fear, that's lack. Those are things like that are involved, but it's also so much a part of it, because you cannot know love and abundance if you do not know fear and lack, because then what is your reference point?
Right. And as deeply as you feel, that's the deep depth which you'll soar. I mean, when a hurricane comes through our neighborhood here in Florida, the palm trees don't get knocked down because they go really high up, but they go really deep into the ground. So their roots are absolutely so solid.
I mean, the people with the most pain are the most
Insightful.
powerful healers.
Yeah.
Because they know the whole journey.
Yeah. And
That's why they're the guys.
The key is, and this is such a huge episode, but we all have access to that information too.
We all do.
Because we're all consciousness, connected to that consciousness.
And you know, there's like a consequence for participating in like choosing a higher awareness and consciousness, because that means the small life, maybe lack, that you participate in, you have to leave that behind.
You have to leave that behind or accept it in some way as part of the process.
But you can't stay there.
You can't stay there because everything is unfolding and moving and moving. And
everything's a cycle and change is constant.
Yeah. And there's birth and death. Things live and they don't. They get absorbed. And the information, the data collection is really, that's why I don't think anything that has ever happened or ever will happen is forgotten. It all matters. Every single bit of it.
You're doing great.
This is a lot. This is a lot. So let's end.
Well, thank you for bringing that today. That's big. And I will digest that.
Please comment.
Super curious.
Yeah. Did any of this land? Because we're sorting through this with you.
Wow. Well, these are the kind of conversations that we have here in this space. We are all powerful manifestors and mirrors to each other on this whole quest. This entire quest. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching this.
Thanks for helping us heal something
by
participating in this with us.
Yeah. Until next time.
Love you lots.